For our final trick, we will make the content of this page fit on the page instead of dangling off to the right. It looks a little yucky because this background image just runs out pretty abruptly, but with what we know how to do this week, we're just going to leave it. Maybe in the glorious future we can take a slice and repeat this down below, but we'll have plenty of time to do that in subsequent weeks. Okay. So we saw in the previous video, we saw margin, which is the space outside. We saw padding. We've been using padding a lot to move text around on top of background images. Saw the border here in a background color. Now I'd like to use the width property to rein in my content. So just as a reminder, this large background image is on the body. And I would also like to, I would like to find out how wide this is so I know how wide I should make the body text. So let's have a look. It is 900 pixels wide. So I'm going to just start my experiments here by just setting my width to the same width, 900 px. So px stands for pixels, which is a dot on the screen. This is how wide in dots on the screen the image actually is. So I'm going to start by making my text with that exact width, and let's see what that looks like. Pretty good. It's pretty close. It's not quite perfect, but it's pretty close. And so my question to myself is always, well, why is it not perfect as a web designer? Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Let's have a look in the inspector. There's my P. Sort of dangling over a little bit. Oh, I think I know why. So, but it's hard to see. If you look very carefully, you can see that there's a tiny bit of space on the left-hand side of my highlight up top. And some videos ago, I think I very briefly mentioned that if I mouse over things, you can see the margins on things. So I'm going to mouse over and show you that by default, the body has some margins on it, right? So it's got a little space on the left-hand side. So always when I'm lining up images, I want to zero the body margins. Usually, I mean, the body doesn't have any padding on it, but if you were really worried about it, you could zero the body padding as well. But I'm going to say margin 0. By default, the body has a little margin. And then I'm going to refresh. Ha ha, see? Beautiful. Of course, now this is now overlapping the imagery. So now I'm in this situation where it looks like 900 is my image width, but I do need to do a little finagling. So here's my thought process, which is going to be wrong, but I wanted to talk you through my wrong thought process. So if I didn't know what I was doing, I would say, well, I would like this to fit on my background image, and so usually how I do that is I affect the padding because it's the space inside the box, so that makes sense to me. So I am going to add some padding to the sides to just push that in a little bit. Seems logical, right? Let's have a look. Here I am on the body, and I'm just going to say, give me like an M of padding on both sides. Actually, here let's say, don't pad the top, but put 1 EM on the sides, just to give you another abbreviation here. So that's it. This is 0 px on top bottom, 1 EM on left and right. That's what that abbreviation means. Okay, save. You'll get used to the abbreviations as you go. Now if I refresh, well, the left-hand side looks nice, but now the right-hand side is dangling over. Why? Why did that happen? That makes me mad. And so now you can see that it's made the whole thing wider. Why? The whole thing should only be 900, right? But actually what the browser is doing, really annoyingly, is it is adding the width and the padding together. Right. So this is common browser behavior, and it gives us a headache. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to find out how to turn this off and make it behave the way you want.